So neural regulation of respiration is a very complicated topic, and it's not that the nervous system just regulates respiration, it actually causes inspiration to happen. So if you look at the brainstem, here's the pons and, the medulla. So this is the pons and this is the medulla. Let's do that. There are respiratory centers in both of those regions. So in this region, in the medulla, you have the dorsal respiratory group right here, or the DRG. And then anterior to that, you have the ventral respiratory group. So they're just named based on what they're located, where they're located in the medulla. And then you have additional centers in the pons. Traditionally, those were known as the pneumotaxic and apneustic centers, but the textbook just refers to them as the pons respiratory centers. And the reason for that is because it's just not very clear what exactly their role is in respiration. So it's just stated in general that they interact with the medullary respiratory centers to smooth the respiratory pattern. Now, the other interesting thing is that if you have the new textbook, so the Mariab and Hone 10th edition, what it says is completely different from most of the older versions of the Mariab textbook, as well as other A&P textbooks that you might be using. Traditionally, it has always been said that it's the dorsal respiratory group that innervates the external intercostals and the diaphragm and causes them to contract during an inspiration. In fact, the DRG was historically known as the location of the inspiratory neurons, because they activate those muscles that cause an inspiration. But now it looks like research is coming out that suggests that it's actually not the DRG, but the ventral respiratory group, which contains those rhythm generators whose output drives respiration, and that it's the DRG that integrates peripheral sensory input and modifies the VRG. So they kind of interact. And so what that basically tells me is that I'm not sure that people really understand at this point the roles of the VRG and the DRG in respiration, just that both of those groups in the medulla are necessary in order for you to take a breath. So these nerves right here coming down from the medulla, they're actually motor output to skeletal muscles, the diaphragm and the intercostals. And if you don't have that contraction of your diaphragm and your intercostals, you're not going to inspire. And if you don't take a breath in, you obviously will eventually die. So it's essential that you have a functioning brainstem in order to breathe.